Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our new NHS recruitment podcast. My name's Will and I'm sat here with our co-host Lauren.
Hello, Will.
Hi Lauren, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. How's your week going?
Very busy. Very busy.
Excellent.
But productive.
We've just moved, haven't we?
We have.
We've moved from Chorley Hospital to our new office at Preston Business Centre.
Yes.
Which has been quite a lot of fun.
It's been fun. Getting lost every morning's fun on the way. Still not used to the route.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But yeah, nice new offices. All colleagues all together now. So yeah, bit of adjustment, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah, we're still in the same office.
Yeah. Anyway, on to episode 2 of the recruitment podcast.
Yeah.
So this week we are discussing hints and tips and application processes.
Yes, we are.
And why is that, Lauren?
Because due to the volume of applications we have for our vacancies, it's really important to put every bit of detail into the application form and really stand out from the crowd.
Totally, absolutely. If you're applying for a job, why wouldn't you put the best?
Yeah, put your best foot forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right when we say about the number of applicants that we do receive. It's important that the effort goes into it and
Absolutely.
gives you a bit of an advantage sometimes over someone who might not always.
Definitely, and it's quite telling as well to recruiting managers who's put effort into their applications and who perhaps has not spent as much time on it.
Yeah. And are we talking about grammar? Does that come into it, or is that not a major part? Or is it more of the content and demonstrating the job roles?
Content and demonstrating how you fit that person's spec is very important in the application form, but equally grammar carries that same weight, because if you're all submitting equally in-depth application forms, we're then going to move forward to looking at grammar, punctuation, how much time proofreading have you put into this.
So I'm not going to get absolutely ridiculed for making a spelling mistake, but obviously it's better to proofread it before you send it.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. Okay, that's good to know, because I know some people do struggle with spelling and the dyslexia and that kind of thing.
So content definitely comes first. But then just proofreading, making sure it's not silly mistakes that could be avoided with a quick proofread.
Yeah. So talking about the details of the application form, so when we're going through and it asks specifically about the job role, and you demonstrate your experience in your previous jobs or why you fit this job that you're going for. How would you go about highlighting your responsibilities and your experience?
So the way I always think about it is we don't know who you are, where you've come from, what you've been doing, and that employer history is a way for us to find out what you've been up to, where you've been working, and what your roles and responsibilities have been. So looking at your sort of day-to-day, what you'd be doing in the role, and just list things that you'd be doing in your job role day-to-day, because those are your roles and responsibilities. So
if you've been handling money or dealing with confidential pieces of information, be it documents or patient-facing, maybe you're going from hypothetically you're a receptionist in a GP surgery and you're coming into the NHS and you have to demonstrate understanding confidentiality in public service, public facing. You could say that on my day-to-day being a receptionist, it's a busy working environment. I've been dealing with confidential inquiries from patients, and that would tick that box. No, that's good to know. So where could people get help from if they were struggling? Have we got any resources?
So on all of our job adverts, we have an application toolkit, and that just breaks down the application process and sort of help advice on how to complete the application form.
It's a bit of a cheat sheet, isn't it?
Bit of a cheat sheet, yeah.
It just it makes it less intimidating. Because, I mean, going for jobs can be intimidating. It's not always the nicest experience having to put yourself out there, go job hunting or applying for jobs. It can be scary. So, no, we do understand that.
Yeah, and everything that's on that job advert is there for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's there to help you.
Yeah. And I think there's wider support in the community as well, isn't it? You could, in theory, if it worked for you, go to your local library or go to your local job centre and seek advice there.
Yeah.
They can provide. I mean, we've had it in the past where people haven't got their own personal computer or don't have technology, so they can't do Teams interviews on mobiles or through their own laptop or what have you. So they can use those spaces. They're there to help.
They are.
So I'm just going to pull it back a moment, Lauren, because you said something really interesting there, which is we don't know who you are.
Yes.
Because that's really interesting. Because of course we have internal staff.
Yeah.
Who would go for some of our vacancies expectedly, and obviously external who we don't know in the organisation. But then we've got so many staff, we don't know everyone, so we all have to be judged through this process.
Exactly.
So how best to get across who you are and using the supporting information box, which if you've not, just for context, if you listen to this, if you've not applied for one of our jobs, the supporting information box is one of the last boxes you fill out on the NHS application. And it can be quite lengthy. I mean, this is the point where the power is in your hands.
Definitely. And it's something I always really try and get people to home in on and focus on, is that supporting information. Because that's where you can really sort of take the opportunity with both hands and be like, this is who I am, this is why I'm perfect for this role.
Yeah.
And back it up with experiences, examples of how you meet the criteria of what we're looking for.
And also because through your employer history, you've demonstrated where you've had responsibility in work and through job roles that you've held previously.
Yeah.
This is also a place where you can show a little bit of personality.
Definitely.
So if you're on committees or you volunteer and you're involved in different groups or you've had varied life experiences outside of work.
Absolutely.
Maybe you've been travelling and done something really exciting, and you can get that in there as well. It's not just
100%
work. You can expand a little bit
and sort of tell us where you've come from, sort of a bit of your story, like what have you been doing, but also what's the future look like for you? Where do you want to go? What's your career progression, your career plan, and how does this role fit into that?
But then again, like everything, and this might sound a little odd after talking about it, we obviously you don't want it to be war and peace, do you? You still need to
be concise with it.
Yeah.
But then not too concise. If you look at your sworn information, you see it's 3-4 lines in length. Probably not got enough detail in there.
Yeah.
But likewise, it's not going to be an essay as such that you'd write at school or at college. Somewhere in a happy medium.
Yeah.
But enough for us to be able to look through and think, okay.
Yeah. It's interesting you school and college and mention education there, because actually we should talk quickly about qualifications.
Yes.
Because obviously when you get a job with us and you've put down on the application form your certificates you have, GCSEs or A-levels, O-levels, BTECs, even degrees, we want to see those actual physical copies, don't we?
We do. So when you're filling out your application form, rather than just grouping together GCSEs in 1999, what GCSEs? What grades?
So individual subjects.
Individual subjects.
Right.
Primarily your maths, your English, your science. They're the fundamental ones that we need to be able to see. And at a quick glance, they've got them.
And of course, all of this is confidential as well, so it's not like anyone else is going to know. If you've done well in your maths and your English, say, or or a science has let you down, it's not like you're going to get ridiculed for that. It doesn't
not.
go anywhere. It's just for the manager, the scoring criteria.
And even the manager, it's completely anonymous, the shortlisting.
Yes.
You just get assigned a number. There's nothing in there that we can identify you by.
They don't know your name until if you are selected and shortlisted for interview and then invited to interview and you accept it. They don't know who you are.
They don't know who you are until that point.
Wow. It's a very clever system.
It is. Yeah. It is.
And fair, because that's the fairest way to do it.
Yeah, completely unbiased.
Excellent. So should we briefly talk about the interview process?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know we could do a whole other episode about this, but it feels important if we've done application hints and tips and to talk people through to getting the job offer. Now, obviously as well, not all interviews are the same in the NHS.
They aren't.
And there's a lot of discretion with the manager and depending on what job role it is as well. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Just a quick note before we move on to that. Not all our jobs require GCSEs, but we'll talk about this later.
So our interviews vary from job role to job role. So there might be some job roles that as part of your interview you'll be asked to do an assessment or perhaps a presentation or get assigned a task to complete before the interview. And then some job roles will just be straightforward standard job interview. Yeah. Questions with an interview panel.
And some, of course, want you to come in and demonstrate something.
Yeah.
Because at the moment we're still doing remote interviews because of a pandemic. But then that might change, and obviously we'll update as and when that changes, if it does indeed change. So that's great. That's really good, Laura. Thanks for that. Any final thoughts we want to say? Do you want to mention your nurse engagement day?
Yeah, so I've been really busy these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Putting together a trust-wide student nurse engagement day. So it's for all student nurses in the local area.
Right.
And they can come along to Health Academy 1.
Right, where's that?
Royal Preston Hospital.
Right.
On the 1st of October, which is a Saturday.
1st of October.
1st of October.
Saturday.
1st
of October.
1st of October.
Education Centre 1.
Royal Preston Hospital. From 9:30 till 4:00. You don't have to be there for the full day. Okay. But we've got seminars, recruitment stands, loads of wards, teams, departments coming down.
Excellent.
Just to engage with student nurses, get them talking about the trust.
Brilliant.
And what we've got on offer.
Excellent. That's really good. Thanks, Lauren.
All
right. Okay, so just a quick note and we'll sign off. Thank you very much for listening to episode 2 of the podcast. I know it's slightly longer than the previous one, but we'll be back in episode 3 discussing healthcare assistants. We've had some really lovely feedback to this podcast so far. So if you want to get in touch, please have a look at the video now where there'll be some contact details. You can drop us a line or get in touch via Facebook and Twitter and on social media. That's at LancsHospJobs is our social media handle. And you will hear from us very soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.